Hi there, students. Defiant, an adjective. Defiance, the noun. An act of defiance. So defiance normally is uncountable. Okay, if somebody is defiant, they are proudly refusing to obey authority. Or probably they're proudly refusing to obey tyranny that's trying to disguise itself as authority. So a defiant gesture, a defiant attitude. The protesters still haven't had their demands met, and they are still defiant before this morning's meeting. Defiance, behavior where you refuse to obey someone. This was an act of defiance against the government. In defiance of the agreement, he went back to the office, for example. So defiance, bold resistance against an opposing force, against an authority. Defiance has the idea of disrespect. And normally it says disrespect for authority, but I think normally this disrespect is for somebody who's pretending to be an authority, but they're not. In fact, they are a dictator. And that's why people are defiant. They boldly oppose, they bravely resist. And defiance, teenagers are defiant. They disregard authority. They oppose power. They refuse to give up. So if somebody is defiant, they refuse to give up, even though they are in the face of a much stronger enemy. So marked by resistance, by bold opposition, challenging authority. Being brave and boldly resistant, not complying, being disobedient, refusing to obey, insubordinate, unwilling to bow your head, bloody but unbowed. So despite the risk of losing his job, he remained defiant because he knew that the situation was unfair. So defiant, showing rebellion. I think the point with defiance is this is an act of rebellion, and the person who's rebelling is clearly normally not as strong as the people controlling. So defiance, resistance, opposition, non-compliance, disobedience, refusing to comply. A challenge to authority. He was jailed for defiance of the court order, dealing with a defiant child. So in defiance of, contrary to, it's impossible to make things happen in defiance of the laws of physics. So a defiant refusal. Defiant rebels, to take a defiant stand on the issue. So refusing to do something even though somebody big and strong who's in charge says you must do it. Defiance is an attitude which says that you are not willing to obey. I was definitely a very defiant child, in opposition, always in confrontation. So if someone is defiant, they're showing aggressive independence. They take a defiant stance. They take a defiant position. They are resisting. They defiantly rejected any idea of a compromise. So defiant, insubordinate, disobedient, recalcitrant, rebellious, unruly, refractory, wayward, mutinous, defiance, rebellion, opposition, a challenge. So he acted in defiance of my orders. There were angry protesters shouting their defiance at the police. A note of defiance entered her voice. Running away from home was an act of defiance against his parents. His eyes flashed in anger and defiance. He was a bold and defiant little boy. The defiant child was punished, and punished again and again. So defiant. Many defiant children are normally unusually clever, because they see through the tyranny of perhaps of their lives. So defiant. Let's see. As to origin, this comes from defiant, défiant in French. So from defy, and defy itself comes from vulgar Latin disfidare, to turn your back on your faith, away, and fides, faithful. So lack of faith, unfaithfulness. So to defy, defiance, defiant. I think I'm going to give this a 5.5 informality. Use both words anywhere. Maybe a 6 informality, but use both of them absolutely anywhere. So, defiance, defiant.